Hello everyone, welcome to BMN 603 Buddhist Practitioner I course during the summer 2020 at the International University at the East. My name is Venerable Sumita. I am the instructor of this course. And today we are into the ninth week, and that is almost the end of our course. And today we are going to talk about the public instructions or sermons at Buddhist ceremonial practices. So a quick recap of last week. Also the spiritual journal would be some of the things that we are going to just summarize. And public speaking and the delivery of different types of sermons was the lesson that we had last week, which is very similar, almost in content, to this week. These 2 weeks are interrelated. Public instructions or sermons at Buddhist ceremonial practices. So today I actually want to discuss more about the real-time public speaking practices. And then we'll have final review and final presentation. I'm going to talk about our final paper for September 14. All right, so midterm presentation we already had, and I want to give you a final reminder to complete all the formalities regarding your midterm presentation. If anyone who's watching this video, if you haven't done this, please get back to me as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will be missing a very important component of your course. Okay, this is my email address and my phone number. You can text me or you can email me. We can set up a Zoom meeting and then we will finalize it right away. Don't get late, and this is the final reminder. So reading through the observations, I went through some of your writings. Some of you are really doing very well. As I mentioned from the very beginning of this course, our spiritual journal is the most important item of this entire course, which is related to your life, which is related to your practice as a Buddhist practitioner, and then how you have been going through this journey, what kind of improvement do you have, what experiences, problems, Q&A, everything. So you can talk about here and discuss here. And I saw some of you have been doing it, and I really enjoy reading. And also I would have given some comments on your writing. And really important that this daily practice will be the outcome, and you will carry something from this course while practicing. Some of you, I'm sure, will practice like this for the rest of your life, and some of you will do it occasionally, but I must say, as a spiritual practitioner, it's very important to maintain your inner peace, and in order to do that, you need to keep practicing. And we are going to meet Saturday again, and as we do every time, you are welcome to join our Saturday meditation. This time we have shifted the time to 6 a.m. If you want to join us live, that is 6 a.m. If not, you can still watch the recorded version. But I also want to let you know that if you are going to be a practitioner, if you want to be a Buddhist chaplain, or if you want to maintain certain disciplined life for yourself, you need to really maintain a schedule of your inner peace, self-care, and in that it is better you do it regularly. On regular basis, if you do something, that will always be helpful to you. So with that reminder, I would like to get started. with today's lesson. So today is August 31, 2020, public instructions on sermons at Buddhist ceremonial practices. As I mentioned, I am actually going to also talk about more about how real-time public speaking is done in many different occasions. I would like to start with this man. I'm sure you know this guy. This guy is always silent. But I found this guy, once he breaks the silence, and then when he breaks the silence, it's a completely different, amazingly powerful speech. Let's go and listen to him.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
So that's a very, very powerful speech by this man, Charlie Chaplin. And then there is another speech I would like to share with you, and that is, and here we have yet another very powerful speech in the ancient history. This is a drama written by William Shakespeare, that is Julius Caesar. And in Julius Caesar, when Julius Caesar was assassinated, brutally assassinated by his friends, including Brutus and all the others, Mark Antony, the best companion of Julius Caesar, gives a very powerful speech, and so he starts with his speech, lend me your ears. So I would like to share that with you. I won't be able to do the whole thing for you, but I would like to share the at least a little bit of this story, this powerful story. I recommend you watch this drama, beautiful one. Also, if you have read Shakespeare, Julius Caesar is a really wonderful drama you can enjoy.
He says, for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholding to us all. Will Brutus be no harm of Brutus here? This Caesar was a tyrant! That's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him. You gentle Roman. Peace! Let us hear him. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. Grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious, when that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept?
So in this speech, Mark Antony, at the beginning, he just does not want to hurt the sentiments of Brutus and all the gathering, but slowly and steadily, with his very powerful oratory speech, he manages to win the hearts of all the people and turn the table around, and Brutus and all the other conspirators are being chased away, or they actually run away from the scene, eventually leading Mark Antony to bring justice to Caesar's assassination. So this is a very amazingly powerful speech. You can see at the towards the end of the speech how Mark Antony is able to make the people run away. You can see here, over here, when he talks about
what private griefs they have, alas, I know not that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but
now you can see Brutus and all the other conspirators, they sense that the situation is not going to be favorable for them, and they are slowly running away.
Know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved my friend, and that they know full well that give me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know.
Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But
So at the end of the speech, we see all the people, they shout in glory, and they are asking for the heads of Brutus and all the assassinators. And eventually, Mark Antony is able to win the hearts, win the favor for Julius Caesar, because Brutus and the company, they managed to declare Julius Caesar as a villain, but due to Mark Antony's powerful speech, all the people, the audience, they change their mind. So this is the power of public speech.
moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you and to your heirs forever, common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar, when comes such another?
Come away! Everybody in the holy place! Under the fire the traitors hounded!
Here's another powerful speech by one of the greatest men of America, Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity.
I'm sure you must have listened to this man's speech many a times, but I still want to bring your attention to his powerful speech. And so
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King.
So in his speech, he talks about his dreams, how he says, "I have a dream." He repeats it many times along with his dreams. They are really powerful, genuine speech sentiments, and it arouses the feelings, appreciation of the entire people. So let's listen to some of them.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious races, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discourse of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children be able to sing with new meaning, my country tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring.
So Martin Luther King's historic speech here marks a very powerful speech of a great American. And here I also have some of those greatest speeches in the history of America, 1933 to 2008. Some of the great speeches are there. And I don't want to play the whole thing again.
So first of
Just give
all,
you.
let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold, and the
Okay, so these are some of the greatest speech. You can have a look at them, watch them later on. So what I mean to say is the public speaking,
So first of all,
the real-time public speaking is not so easy. I do have here presentation by a world champion of public speaking. He is actually Sri Lankan. His name is Dhananjaya Hettiarachchi. Such a beautiful, such a powerful speech here, and I kept on watching, and for maybe for hours I still felt the echo of his beautiful and powerful speech. Let's enjoy.
Dhanajaya Hediyarachi. I see something. I see something. Dhanajaya Hediyarachi.
You and I are not very different from this flower. Just like this flower is unique, you are unique. All of us have something special that makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now, the answer to that can be a little difficult to find because sometimes life has a cruel way of picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Contest Chair, my fellow flowers, I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together, you get mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars, looked into my eyes, and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now, I've seen my mama cry before, but mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, son, I want you to be a better man. That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad. Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately. And I said, okay. So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something. And I was like, whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me. And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, he used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy. And it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can dream. And I started dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exams, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl, but not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem? And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad And I said, Dad, I feel lost. He said, you are like your mother. So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name with strange people talking. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row. Humble, simple, the unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. As soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something. And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank account. I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, and I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken, lost, and broke many times in my life. But the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again. If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you. But I don't know what it is. Only you.
Okay, so that is about one of the very beautiful speech. I hope you enjoyed that too. Well, so how you do such a presentation, how you do such powerful speeches in front of public, it's all up to your preparation. It's all up to your hard work and your design and how you manage yourself, organizing things and presenting yourself in front of the crowd. You can win the hearts of millions when you become a good speaker. And I want to bring your kind attention to the Buddha's Charter of Free Inquiry in Kalama Sutta. This is in Anguttara Nikaya. And the people of Kalama asked the Buddha who to believe out of all the ascetic sages, venerable and holy ones who, like himself, passed through their town. They complained that they were confused by the many contradictions they discovered in what they heard. The Kalama Sutta is the Buddha's reply. So here actually the Kalamas asked Buddha about, they were really confused because lots and lots of different kinds of religious leaders, they would say their religion is the best, their view is the best, and others are wrong, and all kinds of their own bombarding things with the people, and people were really confused. And then when they came to the Buddha, Buddha gave such a modern answer with everlasting values. Even today, you will be surprised that this powerful sutta has all these beautiful value system that all of us can learn and maintain our good perspective. And So the Buddha said, do not believe anything on mere hearsay. Do not believe in traditions merely because they are old and they have been handed down for many generations and in many places. Do not believe anything on account of rumors or because people talk a great deal about it. Do not believe anything because you are shown the written testimony of some ancient sage. Do not believe in what you have fancied, thinking that because it is extraordinary, it must have been inspired by a god or other wonderful being. Do not believe anything merely because presumption is in its favor, or because the custom of many years inclines you to take it as true. Do not believe anything merely on the authority of your teachers and priests. But whatever, after thorough investigation and reflection, you find to agree with reason and experience as conducive to the good and benefit of, of one and all and of the world at large, accept only that as true and shape your life in accordance with it. So this is the summary of the Buddha's entire sutta. You can go have a look at this sutta in detail, but this is the very essence of this entire sutta, which gives a powerful freedom of thought by the Buddha, especially during that time in India when things were very restricted. People's freedom of thought were really confined to a particular community or particular group of people, and the women were cornered to the corner to the extreme dark side of the house, and they didn't have any freedom at all, physically and mentally. And the men also, they were categorized into different sects, different groups, and only a handful of people had all the privilege. And during that time, Buddha came as a remarkable rebellion, and he rebelled against all those vicious circles in the society, and he fought against them, and he gave freedom of thought to all the people. He said, whosoever comes, joins my Buddha Sasana, my Sangha order, the disciples, from whichever caste or whichever group, whichever race, whichever community, when they come here, they would all become one. Just as the water, just as the rivers that come from all different corners, when they join the great ocean, they would taste the same salty water. So is the noble Mahasangha, noble disciples of the Buddha, once they enter the order, they would be treated equal. This is the Buddha's greatest charter of free inquiry, and therefore so many hundreds and thousands of people joined the Buddha's order and followed him, and he became a champion of a great speaker. Okay, so the same text said the Buddha must be applied to his own teaching. Do not accept any doctrine from reverence, but first try it as gold is tried by fire. Just as gold is tried by fire, you can testify your own conviction, your own perspective, your own opinion, whatever, and then you are the master of yourself. You are responsible for all your actions, and you are the owner of your own karma. This is the Buddha's greatest free inquiry, according to Kalama Sutta. Okay, so the Kalama Sutta is really a very amazing sutta. The instruction of the Kalamas is justly famous for its encouragement of free inquiry. And the spirit of the sutta signifies a teaching that is exempt from fanaticism and bigotry, and dogmatism and intolerance. So all these things are part of this Kalama Sutta, and we can learn many things from this wonderful sutta called Kalama Sutta. And also regarding Kalama Sutta, which sets forth the principles that should be followed by a seeker of truth, and which contains standard things are judged by, belongs to a framework of the Dhamma. The four solaces taught in the Sutta point out the extent to which the Buddha permits suspense of judgment in matters beyond normal cognition. The solaces show that the reason for a virtuous life does not necessarily depend on belief in rebirth or retribution, but on mental well being acquired through the overcoming of greed, hate, and delusion. So, Buddha has a great perspective on how you can maintain your inner peace and how you can purify yourself, and through overcoming this greed, hate, and delusion. These are the root causes of all the suffering. So he was always addressing these three unwholesome roots in his discourses, powerful discourses, all of them. The more you read the powerful suttas, the more enlightened you become, the more powerful and expansive your vision becomes. And then there is a very interesting story. What happened to Mr. Moncure de Conway, the author of My Pilgrimage to the Wise Men of the East, when he visited Sri Lanka, and he met a great monk those days, a senior monk called Hikkaduwe Sri Sumangala Nayaka Thero. He was the founder of Vidyodaya Pirivena. I was also a student of that Pirivena. And Pirivena is the monastic school. And when Moncure de Conway met Sumangala Nayaka Thero, he actually gave a speech on this Kalama Sutta. And he explained to them the principles contained in the Kalama Sutta. And at the end of the conversation, Ramanathan whispered to Conway, "Is it not strange that you and I, who come from far different religions and regions, should together listen to a sermon from the Buddha in favor of that free thought, that independence of traditional and fashionable doctrines, which is still the vital principle of human development?" And Mr. Conway said, "Yes, and we, with the Kalama princess, pronounce his doctrines good." So even today, it's such a modern idea to give freedom of thought, free inquiry to people just like that. It's really from someone who should be really open and very honest and sincere and powerful leader only can do such a thing like this. And according to another sutta, sutta number 8 of Nidanavagga Mahavagga, this is Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said, "Friend Savita, apart from faith, apart from liking, apart from what has been acquired by repeated hearing, apart from specious reasoning and from a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over, I know this. I see this. Decay and death are due to birth." So again, decay and death are due to birth. So birth is the problem. And when we are born, all the other things, all the other miseries, all the other sufferings follow. This is another powerful quotation from Sutta number 8 of Mahavagga. And I have another quotation here from Nava Purana Vagga, Sutta number 8 again, Salayatana Vagga of Sangyutta Nikaya. Here a bhikkhu, having seen an object with the eye, knows when greed, hate, and delusion are within. You can still see those three unwholesome roots. Everywhere in the canonical text, you can find these three unwholesome roots. Greed, hate, and delusion are in me. He knows when greed, hate, and delusion are not within. Greed, hate, and delusion are not in me. Because have these things to be experienced through faith, liking, what has been acquired by repeated hearing, specious reasoning, or a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over. Again, the Buddha talks about how important it is to realize that you do have greed, you do have hate, and you do have delusion in you. And also, when you realize that you do not have greed, hate, and delusion in you, and that you yourself have to realize. So, all these unwholesome roots or wholesome roots are inside you, within you. You are the one to raise them, evoke them, and you are the one to get rid of all these unwholesome roots, to purify yourself, to find the liberation, ultimate the crux of your spiritual journey, to attain that perfect enlightenment. You have to get rid of these, decode this whirlpool of samsara. You have to get rid of this greed, hate, and delusion. And according to this sutta, it goes on to say, "No, Venerable Sir, because this even is the way by which a bhikkhu, apart from faith, liking what has been acquired by repeated hearing, specious reasoning, or a bias towards a notion that has been pondered over, declares realization of knowledge thus. I know that birth has been exhausted. The celibate life has been lived. What must be done has been done, and there is no more of this to come." So this again is a repeated utterance in many suttas at the end of many hearings by the people of the Buddha's speeches, powerful discourses, and they would follow him, become enlightened, and they would say the birth has been exhausted. And in the previous slide we learned that birth is the root cause, right? Because of the birth everything happens. And this is the other one. Decay and death are due to birth. And here the disciple says, I know that birth has been exhausted. So the one who was able to decode this sansaric misery, and he is the one who can say, okay, the birth has been exhausted. And this was all fabrication, that we have been mesmerized into this samsara. We have been tangled into this samsara, and somehow, somewhere, when you get out of that entanglement, then you feel so released and so happy and free. And the real freedom comes when you are out of this ignorance, out of this greed, and out of this ill will. Okay, and there was another article by George Alger, speaking earnestly, and looks like he is a chef or something. Here he talks about the public speaking with cookies. And there are many things that we can learn through this article. He says public speaking is one of the greatest fears many people have, and rightfully so. Often would-be speakers imagine all manner of disasters befalling them should they speak their mind aloud. It happens like when it comes to public speaking, at the beginning it's so difficult. It's not so easy. I remember when I was very little, when I was in my school, I was about to give a speech, I actually asked someone to help me write the script, and then I learned it by heart. And then I went. There was actually a farewell party to one of the teachers. So I went in front of the entire school. I was very little, and then I started my speech. And suddenly, in the middle of my speech, I forgot one word. And from that point onward, I could never remember the rest of the speech. I totally got lost. I totally forgot everything. And I was like almost fainting. Then I asked somebody to give me that piece of paper, and then I went through that. I felt so awkward and uneasy that day. So this is the thing that could happen to any of us, and how we can overcome by constant practice, and especially the stage fear, the phobia is really, really difficult thing for all of us. If you want to convey yourself, your company, your products, your services, your art, your ideas, your opinions, or your interests in chocolate chip, cookies, clearly and effectively to many people, it's more efficient to get in front of groups and people and communicate. So those people who actually come in front of you, let's say you have the company, if you are the boss, you have to talk to the people, you have to convince them, and it depends on your powerful speech, and the entire group of employees can be mesmerized with your speech. You can do many things through the power of this speech. And there are 7 tips to help you overcome your fear. This is called stage fright. And so what you can do is start small. And then if you are new to the world of public speaking, always it is better to start with a simple thing, with a small thing, and then prepare yourself thoroughly. You have to organize yourself, you have to research, you have to Google, you have to get some information, and nothing helps otherwise to ease the fear of public speaking without knowing your material. And then don't just memorize the word by word. Memorizing will not help you, because the situation can be completely different when you go in front of the public. And when you see many people looking at you, thousands and thousands of eyes looking at you, your total brain function can change. That smooth functioning of your brain when you are alone, when you are secluded, when you start practicing, completely overturn. It will be the other way around when you go in front of the public. So it doesn't make much of a sense if you try to remember the whole thing word by word. And nowadays you also can see most of the leaders, they do have teleprompters. There are actually professionals who write the speeches for those leaders, but many of them, they also should learn how to speak in front of the people. And those great leaders, they can speak in front of the people without any fear, and also their power of their oratorical power can really win the hearts of the many. And when there are some people like in mass gatherings, when we hear some of those speakers, we really want to go and listen to such people. There are people like that. So avoid common bullets, like reduce stress and find a friend to focus on. So in the crowd, maybe you can focus on someone. Okay, let's say like with the positive energy that somebody is looking at you, you can look at that person, maybe focus on that person more. But you can also run your eyes through the audience. That will make you more confident and comfortable. I remember like when we were young, we were asked to go to the jungle or something, and we would go to the backyard. We had beautiful nature environment, jungles actually. So we would talk in front of the jungle. So the trees and all the other things were our audience. So we thought, okay, there are lots and lots of people right in front of us. So we rehearse in front of that. That is also another way to practice yourself. Then it is also good to engage with the audience. Like you can ask a question and make them brainstorming or something like that can also make you more engaging. Plus, you will also feel more confident in that way. So useful public speaking platforms are TED Talks and Toastmasters. These are really, really very, very useful. You can go to TED Talk and you can see there are hundreds of talks with very powerful speakers, how they speak in front of the audience with such valid, powerful information, and the way they deliver is truly amazing. And Toastmasters Club also is a very famous forum for you to learn how to do public speaking. Okay, so with that, I think we can combine these things with our religious sermons and religious speakings, and hopefully we can also learn from these people and different kinds of people how they manage their speeches. Also, it's different from place to place, from occasion to occasion, from event to event, especially with the religious sermons. How you speak in front of the religious crowd is a little different. Let's say like you're talking about Buddhist meditation or something, then your speech is not so aggressive. Your tone, your intonation, your voice level should be more controlled, and also you should be able to make people calm down with your voice. Otherwise, if it is very harsh or very aggressive kind of speech, which is okay for certain occasions, but not in the case of meditation or some religious sermons. In religious sermons, mostly, the people should feel peaceful and calm. So it's a different intonation. But maybe for other public speeches, you can also learn, you can experiment different kinds of techniques. Okay, so with that, I would like to remind you of our final September 14. In our final exams, we do have a very important thing to learn. Let me get to you our first video that we did. Okay, here's the first video that we did, and in this video you can see about the final exam. I would like to share that with you how we do that, and later on we will discuss a little bit more. And in the final presentation, you are supposed to present your complete progress report along with your demonstration. So final presentation will consist of 5 minutes progress report presentation. That will be a PowerPoint slideshow through Zoom. And then you will also demonstrate a guided meditation for 5 minutes through Zoom. And your final paper will be based on your spiritual journey. Make sure to write a good academic paper with 5 pages at least. And I will also help you. I will show you how to write academic papers and how to do those citations and all. I'll give you instructions. If you have any problems, you can always get back to me. I can help. So the 5 pages means all the content, okay, content of your writing, and it doesn't include the cover page and the reference page. Cover page and reference page should be extra. your writing should be for 5 pages. Okay. Okay, now I want to go to the week 10 study materials for you. You can see here that there is an important guideline for your paper. Yeah, this is the sample paper of your final, and this will be a complete guidance to you in writing your final paper, your term paper. And let me know if you still have some questions. Okay, and here in the folder you can find this thing. You can also download it and learn more about the fonts and about everything is there, like green text box contain explanation of APA style, and blue boxes contain directions for writing and citing in APA style, and the title should summarize the paper's main idea, and everything is explained here step by step. And I hope this will also help you in writing your final paper. And you do have a couple of weeks for this thing, and hopefully this will help you getting better shape. And I also am I'm happy to help you. We can make a Zoom appointment. You can let me know if you need some help. We can discuss about your topic or about the structure of your essay, and then later on you can keep writing. Let me know if you need any help. Okay, over here is the Zoom meeting link. You can go ahead and connect on the final day of September 14, and we will have the presentation starting from 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then there will be one presentation by you, and also you also have to do a 5 minutes demonstration as guided meditation. You have to do that, and after that you can do a presentation. Okay, and then this is also the schedule. The duration actually can be okay. The presentation is for 5 minutes, and also you do have the guided meditation by you. That is a demonstration. Okay, so if you want to start your guided meditation, you can do that, and you can also do a 5 minutes presentation. Whichever way you like to start, you can do, but you have to do both of them. And so just practice it and make sure you do not go over your time limit. We really want to stick to our time limit, and I strongly recommend you do some practice before attending this final presentation seminar on for September 14. And we do have some students from the presentation that we did before, so I just used the same list of names. If we have more students, you are welcome to join and let me know, or you can also put your name over here. That should be good. And then if there are no students coming up, showing up according to the schedule, we will give priority to other people who are joining. Let's say the first student here is not available that time at 6 o'clock, and then we will give opportunity to the other students. Please make sure that your final presentation PowerPoint is already uploaded before you attend the class. This is a very, very important thing, because I know some of you don't do it, and then you panic in the middle of the class, and it's very difficult. From here, I can also present if you have the presentation over here. And this also is really important. You need to fill this form before the end of the course. So I really want you to make sure that you go through all these formalities, and once you do it, you can send me an email, or you can upload that to your folder, and then I will also go through. I will see your reflection papers, your spiritual journals, and also your midterm test, presentation, and all those things, and the final paper, PowerPoint, and your term paper. All these things should be done to complete this course, and then your grading will be completed. And this is the syllabus. If you want, any of you want to go through your rubrics and everything, and the syllabus, everything is here. So please go through that. And this is the spiritual journals sample that you have. You can also use it. Okay, so when you do the paper, make sure everything is complete, and you can also learn about your rubrics and all the tips, whatever. And if you need any help, you can always get back to me. Let me know if you have any problem, any difficulty. I can always help you. Let's make a Zoom appointment and meet if you need. Okay, so the final presentation again depends on your spiritual journey. So keep feeding your journey, building on that, and also your term paper. You can read some articles and some of the things. Maybe I will also try to add more articles on meditation and to the study material folder for you to have some more idea, or you can also go through your own experiences. But maybe like when you want to say what is meditation, you need to give a definition, so you need to actually give citations accordingly. It's very important. You can Google, it's fine, but then when you click, when you quote, always give credit to the original writer, which is very important. If you cite from if you highlight or quote from a web page or something, you have to give the page information. That's very, very important. If you quote from a book, you give page number, and the author's details are also very important. And in the guidelines that was given here, you can get more information as to how you do it. Okay, and so there are some other videos in the Dhamma USA YouTube channel. You can watch them, and let me know if you have any other question. And I hope this was helpful. You can see here final presentation, 5 minutes progress report presentation, and 5 minutes guided meditation demonstration. You all have to do that. Okay, be ready for that. Okay, so that's it, I think, for today. And so you continue to write your spiritual journey. 1-page reflection on today's lesson, which is due on September 4, 11 p.m. And that's it for today. And if you need any assistance, you can always get back to me. And good luck to your finals. Good luck to your course here. And thank you for joining our BMN 603 Buddhist Practitioner I course at the wonderful university, International University of the East. And I'm Venerable Sumita signing off today, wishing you all the very best of luck for your finals. Thank you.